Hi, first graders. Today we're going to learn about 3D shapes and their attributes. So 3D shapes are any shapes that are not flat. You can also call them solid figures. So that means they have 3 dimensions. So they have the length and the width and the depth. So there's 3 ways that we could measure these objects. So today we're going to look at the different attributes or things that make these 3D shapes the way that they are and make them those 3D shapes. So there's a couple of words that we're going to need to know today. So our vocabulary for today is vertices, and we talked about this when we did our plane shapes or 2D shapes. Remember, vertices are the points or corners. So if I'm looking at this cube here, I see all of these points that are here, or vertices that are each here. If I have my real cube here, it's really important that as you're looking today and we're looking at rules and attributes, that you might want to take a look in our tub of our actual 3D figures so that you can count them, because sometimes when we have a picture of them, you can't see all of the different features of them. So make sure you're getting those out and you are using them to help you with your work. So vertices are points. If I just have one, it's called a vortex. So vertices or vortex would be the points on a 3D shape. Another thing we need to know, vocabulary word, is the face of a shape. So a face, it's not going to be smiley faces drawn on your shape. It's going to be a flat surface. So any flat surface that's on your shape, think of it as what looks like a 2D shape that we've already had. So how many 2D shapes do you see on there? The flat surface or the face. So a cube has quite a few of them on each side, those flat surfaces. So we're just going to go quickly through the names of the different shapes that you'll see as we're working through this unit. These aren't all of the 3D or solid figures, but these are just the ones that we'll focus on for these next couple weeks. You might see a couple every once in a while that aren't included in this video today, but that's because there's so many different 3D shapes that we can learn about. So we have this one here that I just modeled with my vertices and my flat surfaces, and that is a cube. So a cube, you'll notice it is made of what looks like a bunch of squares put together to make a box. So we have cube. We also have a rectangular prism. So you'll notice that some of these you'll be able to know the name of the shape because you'll be able to see some 2D shapes within them. So this one is a rectangular prism because I can see that some of the sides are made of rectangles. So we've got these sides or flat surfaces. And we've got our vertices, rectangular prism. We also have a cone. So looking at the cone, this is one that's really important to look at with the actual 3D figure and look at all of the sides instead of just a picture, because this picture could kind of trick you. So if I'm looking at this one, I've got a flat surface here and a vortex here, but these are actually one big long curved side. So our cone looks like this. It kind of reminds me of an ice cream cone. So if I flip it this way and had ice cream on top, it'd be like it was an ice cream cone. Another shape that we'll need to know for today is a cylinder. So you'll notice that a cylinder has these 2 faces or flat surfaces, and then it is round all the way around. So you'll notice that the base is also a circle. And so looking at this when we're thinking about the attributes, these aren't flat on this side, but there are 2 flat sides on this. Another shape that we will need to know is a sphere. It looks like a lot of us call these just a ball. So a sphere is completely round and looks like this. So as you can see, the picture looks a little bit different in this one as well. You'll notice that some of these pictures have dotted lines. That just is telling you that it's the imaginary line, and it kind of is the illustrator's way of showing you that it's a 3D figure instead of just a flat circle, because it's hard to do that sometimes when a drawing. So that's a sphere. And then finally, the last one that we'll see today in our work is a hexagonal prism. So if I look at the hexagonal prism and I'm seeing my actual 3D figure here from my box, if I tilt it on its side, the base, this flat surface or face is a hexagon. And so we see that that's why it's called a hexagonal prism, because the base is a hexagon. Then you'll also see some more flat surfaces or faces around the edge. So as you're working today, you'll be looking at different attributes of your shapes, and you'll be putting them into categories and counting vertices and flat surfaces or faces, just to really get to know these shapes, their names, and what makes them unique as each of the shapes.